My name is Ajwa from Exceptional Makeup. Today I'd like to show you how I conceal my blemishes, including acne. As you can see, I've got a little bit of acne just on the right side of my face. Let me get stuck into it. So the first thing I did was wash my face, moisturize my face with an oil-free moisturizer because I've got oily skin. Use a primer. The primer that I will use, once again, is oil-free. Primer is by Skindinavian, and it's primer spray. It's fantastic stuff. I've been using this stuff for quite a while, and I'm telling you, it stays on for as long as it should. So I'm just going to spray a bit on my face. Let it simmer a little bit. Just blend it in with my fingers. I have washed my fingers. If I was doing it on somebody's face, I'll probably be using a cosmetic sponge or a brush to do this. So the next step is to use a corrector. So the corrector I will be using is by NYX in the shade Orange. So just take a bit and just place it where the darkness is and just dab in it. Now, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but the purpose of a corrector is to counteract all the darkness that I've got on my face, including the blemishes and the pimples or acne, if you want to call them. Now, bear in mind that with the acne or pimples that are popping out, you cannot, even with the foundation and concealers on, take away the texture. I think it's fair enough. The next step is to apply my foundation. Today I'll be using the Black Opal liquid foundation. This is the shade Carob. This shade is a little bit darker for me. So what I will do is I'll mix it up with the MAC Prolong Wear foundation in the shade NW47. So I put a little bit of it on the back of my hand, just like so. That is not a little bit, is it? It's literally like 1 pump. Shake it. I forgot to shake that one, but this is what you literally do with anything that's in a bottle. You want to shake it first just to mix it all up together. And I'll take a bit of that. This is a much lighter shade, so I'm going to be mixing it all up with it. And then let me get my brush. This is foundation brush that I use. It's on an angle. It's got fuller bristles, which means it fills out all the pores. Oh, that facial. I can't help myself. It just comes. I know, right? I need to train myself not to making those facials. I know that foundations generally, you try not to put it right under your eye because it's a little bit heavier. For under your eyes, what you want to be using is concealers. They're a little bit thinner, mostly, and if they're not, try and thin it out yourself. Some of the concealers that I've found for under my eyes that has helped a lot is the MAC Prolong Wear Concealer and the LA Girl Pro Concealer. It's fantastic stuff, the both of them. Now what I generally do is I blend it down my neck just so my neck isn't a different color from the rest of my face. You can see, cover it up a bit here. Like I said earlier on, the texture of the bumps, if you want to call them, the pimples or acne. No amount of foundation or concealer can change that. Certainly, it can cover some of it though, but it will not remove it for you. I think there's enough coverage. So now, I'm going to use my concealer to further cover it, shake it again. The concealer I'll be using is the MAC Prolong Wear Concealer in the shade NW45. I use my finger for this. Now this concealer has got a little bit of reddish base to it. So it's really good for under the eyes as well. It counteracts any darkness that you've got. I'm actually going to put it over my eyelids as well because I want to neutralize that area. And because it's prolonged wear, I could actually use this as a primer as well, just to prolong the wear of your eyeshadow as well, or anything that you place in your eye. I'll just add a little bit more to this one here, just to even it all out for us. So then I go in and further fill out any other finish that's peeking through the foundation that the corrector could have grabbed. Around my nose, you need to remember that you cover around there. Often we blend in our foundation and we forget to cover these areas. Some people even dig it into their nose just to make sure that they've got it covered. Just gonna grab my brush again and grab a little bit of the concealer. Just use it for under my chin. Alright, now powder. The powder I'm going to be using today is by Opal. Okay, so I've opened it. This is what it looks like. The color brush I'm using is by Thin Lizzy. Fantastic stuff. The way it blends is phenomenal. I love it. Tap the excess and just press it in. Now when you press powders into your skin, it actually smoothens it out even better other than rubbing it on. You can buff it out when you're done putting the whole thing on, like in terms of putting the amount that you require on your face. But I generally try not to rub it. The reason why we use powder to set our foundation is because foundations are not made to be absorbed into our skin. So we put the powder on top just to keep it in place and it doesn't wobble. Same principle goes for the primer that we use. We use the primer to allow the foundation to stick onto our skin so that it remains put and it you know, prolongs the wear of it. Yeah, so that's why we do that. Blend it all in so it's sort of like an even color. Okie dokie. Now I would use my face contour kit. This is by Sleek. It is very, very good. I absolutely love this. As you can see, I have well and truly used it to my advantage. So I grab my e.l.f. blush brush. I like using this to contour because it's got that pointy bit, so it gets right where I want it. All around, just to minimize the size of my face. That's the idea of contouring. The power of deceiving. So we love it. Redefining the face, actually. That's a better way of putting it. You can do the fish face if you like, just to give you pointers on whereabouts on the face you would want to place the contour. I generally come down and use it on my jawline just to slim it down. I do have a round face and sometimes I want a more defined looking face. It's always the case, we want what we don't have, right? But at least you know you can elude your face with makeup. And guess what? You can take it back off, you know, permanently, leaving it there. It's a fun bit about makeup. Generally put a little bit size of my nose. Down there. You could easily use a different brush to do this if you don't feel comfortable using the same brush. I've been using this for a while, so I'm quite comfortable squeezing it, you know, sort of thinning it out and using it to create a thinner nose. And then I go in with a finger that does not have anything dark on it. Dab, dab the highlight, place it the bridge of my nose slightly. Then I come in with a blush. This blush is one of Revlon's very old one. It's called Playful Plum. It is a very good blush, especially for us with darker complexions. I love it, absolutely love it. So I just dab a little bit. I'm using a blush brush. This one is Revlon. It's on an angle and it's got a fluffy end to it. It makes applying blush so easy. I take it in a C motion. Because it's during the day, I don't want to overpower my makeup too much, and of course at night you want to put a little bit more. You want to use colors that are bold and stand out, because obviously it's nighttime. But during the day I like to keep my makeup very minimum. Now for the eyes, I'm going to be using the U7 Fantastic palette. I generally would use the shade here as a base. So I place it all over my eyelids, and remember we used the Prolong Wear Concealer as a base and also as a primer. See how it gives it that neutral sort of look. Then I come and use the darker shade here, this one. Using the same finger that I used earlier. Not too much darkness, so just dab it on the outer. So your best bet is to gradually add. Don't overpower it, because it gets very difficult to remove any changes. I'm using a crease brush. This one is by Real Technique, just to help blend in the darker shade that I just applied. I usually keep my eye open and close when I'm doing this, just to give me more glance at where I'm applying the darker shade. And sometimes when I'm done applying this, I generally would go and apply a little bit of the lighter shade, just to blend it all in well. I need to use my little finger there. But I'll show you what it looks like so far. Then I go in with my eyeliner. You can put any eyeliner of your choice. I will today be using Revlon's Luxurious Color. This is black. It's black for my waterline, just a little bit below my waterline, sorry. What I normally do is to use the blending tip that comes with the brush, just to blend it all out. Then I take it up to the corner of the eye. Okay, I would use a transition shade, and I'm going in with my Sleek contour kit again. The purpose of a transition shade is to blend or to even out all the colors that you add, so there's no sharp lines. I like to use this particular color. This one is the Glide On Gel Liner by LA Girls, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, LA Girls. I use that for the inner bit of my waterline, so to speak. The next step I would do is to put a liner just to define the define the eyeshadow that I've just finished putting on. Alright, now the brows. Whenever you do your makeup, you need to make sure your brow is on flick. The first thing I do is I brush my brows towards the direction they grow in. As you can see, I don't have a lot of hairs on my brows, so I have to draw them on. Drawing them on is something else. With any brows, you've got to think about the shape of your face and the shape that you would actually like to go. In saying that, there's no right or wrong. You draw it on to whatever shape you like. People have made it a norm for a look that's normal to see. So when you do anything that's outside of that, people automatically talk. But guess what? The brow is on your face. It's not on anybody else's face. So draw it the way you like it. The brow pencil that I'm using is Revlon. It's in the shade dark brown. So the good thing about using a concealer before, sorry, not a concealer, a primer beforehand, especially for the whole face, as it grabs the brow as well, it helps the brow pencil to stick and to last even longer as well. The idea is to make them all look even. This is what it looks like. I hope you've enjoyed watching this tutorial as much as I've enjoyed creating it for you. I'm sure in comparison to what I had before, you would notice a bit of a difference, if not majorly. The idea of this is for me to still have my skin looking as skin and not to cover it with makeup, and for it not to look too heavy. And I think I've achieved a little bit of that. If I was going out in the night with a look, then I would intensify it a little bit more, just so that it can be seen, it can be vibrant while I'm out and about. So thank you so much again for watching, and I hope to see you next time in my next video. Bye.